As an atheist and a registered voter, what I want to see in a candidate are well-reasoned responses to questions they're asked about how they would perform as President of the United States of America. What I don't want to see are candidates who defer to their relationship with their deity for guidance in leadership matters and seemingly expect that positive favor from their God will steer the country for the better if they're elected because they'll pray a lot. Not only does this show ambivalence for their constituents' intellect, many times it amounts to a cheap pop, akin to calling out, "New York, I love you," in Madison Square Garden. Bringing up your God can sidestep an issue and appeal to mutual religious beliefs rather than actually answering the question in a way which logically informs the audience of the foundations of a candidate's stance. In the recent Republican presidential debate, Michelle Bachmann said,
I am 100% pro-life. I've given birth to 5 babies, and I've taken 23 foster children into my home. I believe in the dignity of life from conception until natural death. I believe in the sanctity of human life. And I think the most eloquent words ever written were those in our Declaration of Independence that said it's a creator who endowed us with inalienable rights given to us from God, not from government. And the beauty of that is that government cannot take those rights away. Only God can give and only God can take. And the first of those rights is life, and I stand for that right. I stand for the right to life. The very few cases that deal with those exceptions are the very tiniest of fraction of cases, and yet they get all the attention. Where all of the firepower is and where the real battle is on the genuine issue of taking an innocent human life. I stand for life from conception until natural death.
I have 2 problems with this quote from the debates that stem from the atheist point of view. First, in quoting the Declaration of Independence, Michelle Bachmann has inserted her God into a passage that was intentionally vague as to whose God should be given deference. Thomas Jefferson's recent decreased presence in Texas school books, even though he authored the Declaration of Independence, is a direct reflection of the increased awareness of Jefferson's deistic leanings, which are in direct opposition to people who would assume that Jefferson meant their God to further their political arguments. The term their creator was meant to refer to the individual origin of life that a person believes. And in that vagueness, we can derive that Jefferson intended that no matter what you think created you, you came with inalienable rights. The second problem I have with this quote is that outside of "because my God said so," Bachmann fails to give a compelling reason for her holding her pro-life stance. This was an opportunity for her to give more logical reasons for her valuation of the sanctity of life, and she failed to do so. I can respect the concept of inalienability apart from her belief in her God, but her rational basis for her political stance is still vague. Although she obviously enjoys adding to her total children raised high score. Notice, though, how she injects the word innocent before the words human life in the last portion of her prepared response.
Innocent human life. Innocent human life. Innocent human life.
Aside from the Christian majority she's appealing to and their majority thoughts on original sin, I have another observation to share here. Her pointing out the innocence of unborn babies as a characteristic is a very subtle way of differentiating them from the guilty people she might not commute sentences for as a proponent of the death penalty? Why doesn't she use the same statement of, only God can give, only God can take, in forming her opinions on that matter?
Only God can give and only God can take. Only God can give and only God can take. Only God can give and only God can take.
It seems that inalienability of the right to life as endowed by her God ends when she considers someone guilty.